Warren Cummins, AFC Bournemouth.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Vitality Stadium. You're watching AFCB TV for a really special couple of hours ahead. It's the Hampshire Senior Cup quarter-final between AFC Bournemouth and South Coast rivals Portsmouth. As you can see, we're situated in the gantry with a couple of familiar AFC Bournemouth faces. To my right-hand side, a man that made 301 appearances for the club in 3 separate spells, and of course the club journalist Neil Perrott as well on the far side. I guess there's only one place to start. David Brooks. More minutes under his belt after what has been the most traumatic of journeys for him over the last couple of years, over 500 days. But to see him back out there in the red and black tonight will be absolutely superb.
I think everyone at the football club will vouch for what I'm about to say, that we're all so proud of David to come back from a journey he's had. First and foremost, you want his health to be good. Second of all, you obviously hope to see him back in the grass, and to see it tonight live is an amazing feeling.
It's obviously going to be brilliant for the Bournemouth fans to see David Brooks tonight up against a really tough Portsmouth opposition.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've got 7 first-team players starting. The manager's obviously, the first-team manager is taking the game as well, so he obviously wants to see those players and what they're about. They're on a really good run at the moment, Portsmouth first team. Still got a chance of getting in the playoffs, so he's treating this very seriously tonight. We can see that, as are we. Absolutely,
and Bournemouth have got a number of youngsters involved, 6 under-18s involved for Alan Connell tonight. But an amazing opportunity on the pitch at the Vitality. The crowd's in as well. There's a little bit of pressure, good opposition. This is a perfect chance for some of these young lads to prove what they're about.
Yeah, this is a really good development game for a lot of the boys. It'll probably be the first time that some of these boys that are playing for us this evening will have come up again against proper seasoned pros, first-team players. So the development aspect of it's huge. Allied to the fact that I think it's always brilliant playing on this pitch on an evening game. Some of the boys played in the Youth Cup when I did this job with Neil in December. However, it was during the day, and I just think it adds a little bit more when the floodlights are on.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the teams then. We've got the AFC Bournemouth first team sheet. We'll start with the goalkeeper Billy Terrell in goal for the Cherries. At right back, Brooklyn Genesini. The 2 centre halves, Ben Greenwood and Max Kinsey Wellings. At left back, Noah Bhutan. Then we're going 3 across the middle, Lewis Brown, Torrey Williams and Ben Winterburn. And then the front 3, Bailyn Johnson, Daniel Aduajayi, and of course that man, the number 7, David Brooks, who is starting for the Cherries today. Just a quick word on that team, Warren.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can see from what we've got, other than the obvious name at number 7 of David Brooks, it's a really young team. Lots of energy. I'm sure there'll be a lot of nerves in amongst them, bearing in mind that this is a cup match, and also for some of them, as I said, the first time playing against seasoned pros. So there's a lot to like about the team. I think we have to be realistic that this will be a tough challenge tonight. There's no doubt about that. If Portsmouth turn up in the right mindset with the 7 first-team players that they've got available to them, then it could be a tough evening for our guys.
Let's have a look at the Portsmouth team sheet as well. You can see there in goal, Josh Oluwayemi, who has played in League One a few times already this season. Right back, Brian Quam. The 2 centre halves, Josh Dockerell and Clark Robinson, who has played 29 games in League One this season as well for Portsmouth, so vast experience for him. At left back, Denver Hume. Then we've got across the middle, Adam Pace, Jay Mingy, Tom Lowry, and then a front 3 of Kobe Moto, Joe Piggott, who scored 6 goals for the club in the first team this season as well, and Michael Jacobs, someone who is influential from free kicks and corners. He'll be a big player for the away side. And like you said earlier on, Neil, this is a side that has got a lot of experience tonight.
Well, packed with League One experience, like you said, and Warren was delighted to see that there's someone in the starting lineup from Aberdeen as well, his hometown, Clark Robertson, the Portsmouth club captain. But it's going to be a fantastic experience for our young players. Let's not forget they've all played here before, which is going to, there's going to be some nerves, yes, but they've all played here in the FA Youth Cup, played Liverpool just before Christmas, so there's that experience that they've got as well.
And of course, this is a competition that you've watched for a number of years over the years. Sorry, someone coming past me there in the TV gantry here at the Vitality. But this is a competition that's got a rich history, and there'll be young players that have all played through this system and these games.
You're not going to ask me if I watched the 1959 final when these 2 teams met, are you? Is that what you're getting at, Mark?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, interesting fact of the day, I actually lost the Hampshire Cup final for Havant and Waterlooville against Basingstoke at Fratton Park.
There you go, there you go. Well, let's take a look at the 2 teams as they come out to the pitch here at the Vitality Stadium. You can see there's a fantastic atmosphere already. There's a number of Cherries fans over on the far side of the main stand. The music is pumping, and these are the moments, Warren, that you just love as a footballer, because this is the opportunity to perform on the big stage. This is your chance to show to those people in the stands that you're ready for this environment, the first team environment.
Well, that's a cut and thrust of playing football at this level, that unfortunately they are being judged. Eyes are on them. I think what's amazing for these players is they can showcase themselves not just to our own fans, not just to Alan Connell, but also Gary O'Neill's here. So that's a really good thing for the players.
That's fantastic to see as well, the fact that the first team head coach of a Premier League side takes such an interest in these young players, because that's been a huge part of this club's development, bringing players through, and you've seen it with Jay-Z and Jadon Anthony.
Yeah.
Getting these boys into the first team is key for this club.
That's right, and the more eyes, more times that they can have eyes on them from the management, then it just puts them in the shop window for the manager to pick them at some point, or the other scouts that are here to maybe take them at a different level at this moment in time in their journey and their development. Also, I think the manager probably came as well to show his support for David Brooks, which is absolutely fantastic.
And you can just see this huddle now. This is something that's been familiar for a number of years for AFC Bournemouth fans. What's being said right now? What's being said by the captain of those players?
I can imagine it's the usual cliches that come out. You normally say, start fast, lads, let's get them on the back foot, get the ball in their half. All the usual things. Nothing changes in football. They'll probably, sometimes you just say things just because you're just adrenaline rushing and you just need to get something out because you want the game to start.
Absolutely. You can look at the physicality of that Portsmouth team, Neil, and there's a real size difference between a lot of those Pompey lads compared to the youngsters at Bournemouth.
Well, they certainly breed them big in Aberdeen, because your mate is enormous at the back there, Clark.
Yeah, well, his brother plays in the same team as my son in the Highland League up in Scotland, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on tonight.
Fantastic stuff. This is just moments away now from kick-off. You can hear Nonny with the Red Army chants, which is customary here for the Vitality Stadium. And as you can see, the players are ready and focused, and just 90 minutes, potentially a penalty shootout away from a semi-final in the Hampshire Senior Cup, and you can watch all of the action live on AFCB TV over the next 90 plus minutes. The referee is just getting ready, and there's actually a really lovely story, Neil, about the referee Gary Parsons today. Gary
Parsons is a New Milton man. I know him quite well. He also has recently overcome bowel cancer. So 3 years ago he got the all clear, so it's absolutely fantastic to see him on the pitch as well. He referees at the National League normally, that's the level that he does, but he didn't think he would ever referee again, as you can imagine, 3 years ago. So it's just great to see him out there.
Nice little turn from Torrey Williams in the middle there, and David Brooks already in the action as well with a nice crossfield ball to Noah Bitan. But yeah, like you say, a brilliant story for the referee, for David Brooks, and this is where you see the strength of the football family, where you get stories like this that really make it special. Jay Mingy there just robbing AFC Bournemouth of the ball, and the away side just with a chance to put their foot on the ball and keep a little bit of possession. It's always early doors. You don't want to give the ball away, Warren, do you? You just want to keep the ball.
No, I think for every player you want to have that first touch of the ball. It'll just ease your nerves a little bit, and it just allows you to get a little bit of momentum into the game.
Daniel Adua-Jay back towards Max Kinsey, Wellings, and then out wide to Genesini. And David Brooks with a really nice flash of touch there, and it's a nice 1-2. He comes in field and once again does really well, and that will be important for David, just to get those early touches, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was with Sean Cooper earlier, and he was telling me how impressive David Brooks has been in training. So it truly is a remarkable story of what that young man's had to endure and where he's at now.
Absolutely incredible to see him back out on the Vitality Stadium pitch for sure. And Portsmouth now just looking to switch the play into Kobe Moto, who is offside, and a chance to regroup for AFC Bournemouth. But a great atmosphere, great start as well.
I was going to say, it sounds like the Portsmouth fans knew that there was going to be a few first teamers out, because they've certainly come in their numbers, and you can hear them in the corner there.
I love going to Fratton Park. When Portsmouth are losing, that's when the fans sing at their loudest. That's what they're all about. And you can see a pocket of away travelling support in the far side in the main stand. And it really is going to help to create a brilliant atmosphere for both of these two sides and both of these sets of players to play in as well. And you can just see a couple of the Bournemouth players there just saying relax on the ball, just slow the tempo down. And it's Noah Bhutan back towards Ben Greenwood, who's captaining the Cherries tonight. And Torrey Williams can just stretch his legs through the middle of the park. He's got a little bit of space there and he plays it out wide. And Genesini can get forward for the Cherries. David Brooks once again on the ball. He looks so sharp already in the opening stages of this one. He wants to feed in field and does really well. And once again the ball's out wide towards Bailyn Johnson, who's got a little bit of time now, who can check back and then find a nice pass square infield. And this is good from AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah, really good start. Already it's evident that David Brooks is going to drift off of that right-hand side onto his left foot. He's looked really bright, really creative, so it's a really good start.
Yeah, brilliant to see. He looks sharp. He looks like the player that we saw for many seasons before the cancer diagnosis, and that is absolutely brilliant to see. And Portsmouth will now try and come forward down this right-hand side, and it's Kobe Moto that plays it back towards the 26, Tom Lowry. Jay Mingy gives the ball away. Daniel Oduajay just dropping in there to pick up the pieces, and Torrey Williams with a nice 1-2. He looks like a composed man already, Williams.
He really is, Touré. He's one of the, I think you can see he's quite a diminutive character in terms of stature and size. So in that respect, in this day and age, it means you're going to have to be technically pretty efficient. Oh, we're in.
The ball forward there from David Brooks. It's a nice little lift over the goalkeeper, but he does well there. Ben Winterburn with an opportunity for the Cherries, but the goalkeeper was smart to it. A goalkeeper that's played in League One already this season for Portsmouth. But what a nice ball from David Brooks. He spotted the run and he executed it perfectly.
A great pass over the top, a good run forward from Ben in behind. I actually think he got caught in two minds. If you see him, he actually ends up slipping. I'm not sure if he knew whether to lob the keeper or actually try and go round him.
Ben Greenwood on the ball now. Max Kinsey-Wellings, who's going to find it out wide right to Brooklyn Genesini, but that one's cut out by Portsmouth, and he's back there to try and defend and does well. And it's Pompey in possession once again. Tom Lowry with the ball now, who wants to find a searching ball over the top for the run of the striker, and Moto is going to do well to keep that one in field, and he drags it back towards the fullback. He wants to open up and try and find a pass forward, and Moto once again on the far side for Portsmouth. And you can hear the Portsmouth fans in the background there. Tom Lowry with the ball forward, a nice little 1-2. It's a ball between the fullback there, and he's done really well to cut that one out. Bailyn Johnson doing his defensive duties, and that was a crucial tackle there, Neil.
Yeah, no, really important tackle there, because the winger was going to be able to get a nice low cross in there. Just going back to Torrey Williams, Warren, I don't like to use the phrase unsung hero, but I've watched quite a lot of the under-18s games this season, and he's two-footed. Yes, he's diminutive, but he's so good on the ball and so good to watch.
Yeah, he really is. He's one of these players you like watching him play football. He puts a smile on your face, how brave he is to take the ball in tight areas, and how he can manipulate possession. This is important, this.
Michael Jacobs with the ball in, but straight away the linesman on this near side has flagged to say that one went out of play before it came back in. Michael Jacobs with 4 goals in 31 appearances for Pompey this season. He is the man that will take all the corners, free kicks, and he can pose a real danger from dead ball situations. But Bournemouth are playing out from the back now. It's Williams on the ball that finds Genesini on the far side, and he's looking forward. Good progressive football from the Cherries so far, and David Brooks once again showing his technical ability on the ball. And it's just calm, possession-based football at the moment for the Cherries. And they're making good use of that Vitality Stadium pitch. And Greenwood in possession at the moment. Looking for that crossfield ball. And he can see David Brooks, and he's executed it perfectly. And Brooks has got some space and time on that far side.
So the manager's going to be delighted that David Brooks has had so much of the ball already. Warren, will the other players have been under instructions to give him the ball as often as they can?
No, I wouldn't have thought so, but I think what you tend to find, David Brooks is obviously a big character in a team like this, so automatically the players will want to try and search him out. They know that how good he is of a player and how they can be helped by him by giving him the ball, so just naturally I think the players will just feed him it.
Absolutely, especially in the early stages of this one. He's been an outlet. He's been quick. He's been sharp. He's looked like a player that can affect the game, and that's what you need against a lot of experienced Portsmouth players.
No, it's been a really bright start from him.
Mark, Warren just wants to give a shout out to the Ball Boys.
Yes, Ball Boys are the under-13 academy group that I am lucky enough to coach every week. So there's my little cherubs doing their job, so they're under strict instruction by me. If the ball goes out and we're winning, leave the ball in the stand, and if we're losing the game, you get that ball back in quickly, or you're dropped on Sunday.
Were you ever called a little cherub when you were in the academy growing up?
I was called a lot of things, but never that.
And it's Jay Mengi for Portsmouth, and it's out wide on that left-hand side for the away side, and back in field to Tom Lowry, and some good possession there. And the fact that you've mentioned it already, ball's fed forward nicely, but it's cut out really well by Greenwood for the Cherries, and Moto will pick up the pieces here as he tries to make something happen for Portsmouth, and he's got support there from Jay Mingy infield, back to Lowry, looking to find the gaps, but Bournemouth are compact through the middle, Warren.
Yes, and they're going to have to be. It's one of the mantles generally of all our teams. We want to force the ball into wide areas.
David Brooks cuts the ball out and then opens up his legs, and his pass infield there is cut out, but Daniel Aduajayi can pick up the pieces, and Bournemouth are in the final third now. David Brooks, once again, a smart little bit of footwork, and he looks sharp every single time he gets the ball, and it's back out wide for the Cherries.
He'll be disappointed with that pass, actually. You expected him to feed Ben Winterburn in on the overlap, and he did quite judge it quite correctly for him.
Bhutan for Bournemouth, who wants to get forward. The former winger who plays at left back but can get forward at times is now putting the fullback under pressure. A little bit of a physical tussle there, but Bournemouth pressing high, trying to win the ball, and unfortunately the referee gives Portsmouth a free kick, but that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see a high press, you want to see players with no time on the ball, and you want Bournemouth to be in the Portsmouth half. That's
it. I mean, again, a little bit like I was saying, we pride ourselves on being good high pressure teams, and I think especially when you're playing against a good side, and this is a really, really good side at this level, you're going to have to get in their faces.
Absolutely. Joe Pigott through the middle, who's played 37 times. He's on loan from Ipswich in League One as well, so he's got some good pedigree in the first team. There's a number of players that have played across League One this season as well, and this is the perfect opportunity for some of these Bournemouth youngsters to show what they can do on the big stage in a quarter-final. You're watching AFCB TV. We have got 9 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock, and it's been a bright and positive start for Alan Connell's side. What will Alan be looking for from some of these youngsters and the players in the development squad, Warren?
Like you alluded to earlier, you're looking to have players that are capable of playing in this environment. You want to see them being brave, taking the ball. You want them to show no fear in how they play the game. You know, accept that, yeah, it's a different stage, but at the end of the day, it's still one ball you're playing when it's still 11 men you're playing against. But can you handle the different environment? You're in front of a crowd, which you don't often get. So just being able to handle those different aspects that they're not used to when they play possibly academy football.
Absolutely. Noah Bhutan with the ball now. Kinsey Wellings forward, and Winterburn does really well. Bhutan there in support, and there's bodies there for Bournemouth that can just string some passes together. Toure once again a smart touch, but comfortable in possession, which is important, and just building those passes as well.
Mark, it's a transitional time in the academy as well, certainly for the under-18s. We've got 6 under-18s starting tonight. They're second-year scholars, and they've moved into the development squad effectively already. Once the Youth Alliance League finishes and the Merit League starts, the under-16s are promoted into the under-18s to play in the Merit League, and these lads all train regularly with Alan now, with an eye on next season. So it's not like they see out the season in the under-18s. They moved up already, and some have gone on work experience loans as well.
There's quite a few Bournemouth players that have been out on loan to various sides. Noah Bhutan, just playing back there, is currently on loan at Gosport as well, so he's getting some good experience in the first team there, and it's Bournemouth that will search forward with the ball into the box, but it's cleared by Portsmouth. But there's Bournemouth bodies in and around the Pompey back line, and they do really well to play out from the back there under pressure.
Just talking about the loans, a couple of the lads, Max Kinsey Wellings and Lewis Brown.
The shot there from Bournemouth, and it goes just wide. A fantastic opportunity from Ben Greenwood, who saw some danger, was alert to the ball, cut it out, and his shot was dragged ever so close there. That was a great opportunity. An early sighter there of what Bournemouth can do. You can see there the goalkeeper's at full stretch there. Josh Oluwayemi does really well. He has it covered, but fantastic chance there, and great to see the centre half pushing high and seeing that danger and that opportunity.
Brilliant anticipation from Ben Greenwood. The lad that received the ball, he didn't have a scan around him, so he didn't actually know Ben was coming. Loose touch, Ben intercepts, and like you said, it was a really good effort goal.
I was just going to say the two lads are on loan at Wimborne. Wimborne are managed by Tim Seals. Oh,
there's an opportunity for Pompey here. It's Tom Lowry around the goalkeeper. There's a man at the near post, but he sneaks it in at the far side. And just when Bournemouth were looking to press forward and score, it's the away side and Portsmouth that have opened the cherries up. A defensive mix-up, and it's now 1-0 to Portsmouth. A man that's played in the first team 14 times, and the 25-year-old capitalises on a defensive mix-up. It's Williams that makes the mistake. He goes round the goalkeeper and then he's calm in front of goal to find that far corner. That's a disappointing one to concede.
It is, because you're making of our own downfall there. You know, unfortunately Billy Terrell's dropped Toure Williams short, so unfortunately they've managed to intercept. A little bit like Ben initially, you know, good anticipation on their part, but it's one that Alan will be really disappointed with because it's avoidable. It's not out of them creating anything, you know, it's our own mistake.
The first goal has gone to the away side on AFCB TV. We'll be bringing you all the action as it happens. Hopefully there's a reply, and a big thanks to our sponsors, Esset, who are tonight's main match sponsor here on the club's TV channel, and Portsmouth with that opening goal, and it's now up to the home side to respond and just show a little bit more of that composure that they were doing so well in the opening stages of this game.
Yeah, it's time to regain composure, but unfortunately we give it away again. Good recovery from Noah Baton.
There's a mistake there from Noah Baton, who gives the ball away to Joe Pigott, who is one man you do not want to give the ball away. He's a physically imposing striker, and his opportunity there was sniffed out, thankfully, for the Cherries, and they can start to build something again through Williams, who does really well to skip around the challenge and press forward, and he's looking for the run of Bailyn Johnson and Daniel Aduajayi. But it's Clark Robertson, the experienced defender, that comes across to snipe out the danger, and Portsmouth have a goal kick.
I've got to finish this about these Wimborne lads. They're managed by Tim Seals Wimborne, whose son Ethan Seals scored today for our under-18s against Stevenage. So he's only an under-15, so it's great to see him score.
He's an under-15 and he's still 14. So that's really brilliant for us. I was fortunate enough to coach Ethan as an under-13. So it's great that he's doing well, and also to shout out as well one of our other boys, Johnny Day, who's an under-15. He also scored for the youth team today, so he's another one that we've got high hopes for.
Some great players coming through the academy, and as we've mentioned, it's so important for Bournemouth. You've seen it so many years, the players that have come through and featured in the first team, and I think the great thing looking from the outside is that there's a real culture of players that have played in the system, played in the first team, that are now guiding these young players, you being one of them.
Well, it is only coaching, Mark, so it's not about the players, is it? No, we are lucky. I think because quite a lot of us have been associated with the club in various ways for a long period of time, I think we understand what the club desires are. As a result, we like to think that our boys are coached in a way that we deem fit to hopefully get them one day into first team environment.
And it's Michael Jacobs with a corner on the far side for Portsmouth.
This is we want to try and limit as many corner kicks or free kicks in wide areas, because obviously they've got a physical threat that's a little bit better than ours.
They're packing into the box there, a number of players on top of the goalkeeper. This is clearly a part of the plan for the away side. Ball whipped in by Jacobs to the near post, but dealt with by the Cherries at the first opportunity. But the away side will have another corner on that far side, and you can hear the Portsmouth fans in the background as they cheer on their side. And this one is played short, and it's to Lowry on the edge of the box, who's calm in possession. But once again, the Bournemouth defence does its job, and Pompey will have a third corner in succession.
It's great, this, actually, when they're surrounded our goalkeeper. That's not something they're going to get every time in academy football, so it's a really good experience.
Ball into the box there, and Billy Terrell does really well to hold on to that one under pressure, and he looks to release it quickly into the path, but it's cut out by the Pompey defence. And Bailyn Johnson now just trying to win the ball back for Bournemouth. And it's Williams in the middle of the park, who can just find a little bit of composure and get it back out wide to Genesini in the middle for Brown. And this is important for Bournemouth now as they look to try and build something again, just that calm composure on the ball, and it's Williams. Greenwood. There's a run of Bhutan forward. Williams back in field. And Greenwood gives the ball away there under Portsmouth pressure, and Pompey can surge forward with Lowry.
We've just been caught 3 times now, one with a goal and twice others from one from Noah Baton, one's there from Toure Williams. We're just letting ourselves down just a little bit on the detail of our passing that's just putting our own players under pressure.
Dockerhill for Portsmouth. Out towards the fullback, Quam, who plays it forward to Moto. And Moto looks for that pass infield for Adam Pace, who does really well, but it's cut out by the Cherries. And Portsmouth will have another corner. And like you say, this is an opportunity to really test yourself defensively against a physically imposing Portsmouth side. And this is great experience for these young lads now.
Fantastic, it really is. This is big boy stuff, you know what I mean? This is not what they get on a Saturday morning at Camford. This is what it's all about. This is a nitty-gritty of football.
It's played short by Jacobs. Lowry into the box there, and it's a brilliant delivery that's well dealt with by the Cherries. And Denver Hume will try and reclaim possession for Portsmouth. But Daniel Ajuajay does really well, and it's a Bournemouth corner on the far side. What will Alan be thinking after this opening 18 minutes? What will he be thinking about the side's performance so far?
I think he would have been, obviously, initially quite content with the first 10 minutes. The game was played more in their half. The last 10 minutes we've struggled to get out. It's putting ourselves under a little bit of pressure, but that's a brilliant ball from Ben Greenwood to find David Brooks on the right-hand side.
And David has got a little bit of space now on that far side, and he's fouled according to the linesman on the far side. The referee Gary Parsons agrees, and Bournemouth now have a chance just to take the sting out of the Portsmouth attack, just gather themselves and put the away side under a little bit of pressure.
I think if his name wasn't David Brooks, you don't get that foul. He kind of bought that one, I think.
That's the experience of David Brooks, having played in the Premier League. An opportunity to try and do something a little bit different for Bournemouth now, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, it's our turn for a set piece now. Like we've seen them have 2 or 3 corners, which we've defended very, very well. Yeah. And now look, Brooksy's standing over this, so I imagine it's going to be him. We've got some height there. We've got Max Kinsey-Wellens.
That's not Brooks, that's Ben Greenwood.
Of course it is.
He's in the box.
Greenwood in towards the back stick.
I wish it was Brooksy.
But there was no one there reading that delivery that had a bit too much whip and dip and pace, and there were no Bournemouth men that could get close to that one.
Ben Greenwood scored a hat-trick in the first round away at Follins. Not often you see it.
Were you there, Neil?
I was. Not often you see. You ever score a hat-trick, Will?
Maybe in a 5-a-side about 20 years ago. No.
Even
then, I'm not sure. But no, credit to Ben. He's got a happy knack of coming up for goals. I think he scored on this pitch a couple of times as well in different games.
I've scored on this pitch a couple of times as well.
Have you?
Yeah, end of season games, staff matches.
Okay.
Any time to get out.
Did you play in that charity match that we had when we were trying to raise money that Kevin Bond put on? Remember when all the celebrities playing? Did you play in that
No,
one?
I didn't.
No.
No.
It's a good one to miss. Kevin Bond, quite brilliant. I think everyone paid £3,000 to actually come and play on this pitch for the first team. But all he did was he kept rotating them on, and the only position to come on and play was right back. So for the game we had about 12 right backs.
Should have rotated the left back.
Well, I was injured that day.
Oh. Moto into the box, and Michael Jacobs not quite big enough to get that one, and Brooklyn Genesini is going to be under pressure there, but he does well to find Brooksy, and it's a great turn once again from David Brooks, and he wins Bournemouth a throw in on that far side, which is taken quickly, and Portsmouth pressing high, and Bournemouth under pressure once again, but it's good footwork, and they play forward but give the ball away to Pompey, and it's a ball into Moto there, who's in the box, and it's a dangerous one, and he finds the back of the net. And in the blink of an eye, the away side have doubled their advantage, and it's Kobe Moto that is the goal scorer for Portsmouth. He's under pressure. The goalkeeper, Billy Terrell, can't do anything to keep that one out the back of the net, and it's this dangerous ball in that causes the damage. He gets the wrong side of the defender, and he's got the calm and easy job of firing it past Terrell. And another frustration for Alan Connell.
It is, and I think Alan will be disappointed with Noah Baton there, and I know very well as a left back. If you watch Noah's positioning, they've actually got the ball, but yet he's spread out into position, expecting to receive it on the left-hand side when they're in possession. His first and foremost danger is the man on the inside of him. If he needed to be positioned himself on the inside shoulder of that attacker, then that goal doesn't happen.
Still a great ball in, and he still had to finish it as well. But like you said, he got in behind, and I think it came from our throw-in as well, if I can remember.
It did. Again, it's a possession phase that we've given away under not that much pressure, so that again is a frustration for Alan. What's great now, though, this is a real test of character. This is the moments that the management and the coaching staff will be looking at and go, right, okay, who's got it in them to step up 2-0 down? It could be very easy for young players to go under now.
Midway through the first half, and Bournemouth find themselves 2 goals behind to an experienced Portsmouth, and it's Jay Mingy now who can open his legs and stretch that back line for the Cherries, and he finds Portsmouth out wide, and they can just compose the ball, and it's Lowry now who steps on the ball, finds a pass out to that left-hand channel, which is where they've had a lot of their joy so far today, and Portsmouth putting the Cherries under some serious pressure now, and an opportunity for Bailyn Johnson to try and win back possession, but it's Portsmouth on the ball once again. Mingy to Lowry, out wide, Hume, back out wide for Pompey, and Denver Hume makes a run in behind. He gets to the byline, but his cutback is only as far as Williams, and Bournemouth can now try and catch Portsmouth on the break. He's got options to the right-hand side, and Bailyn Johnson's going to have to do some serious running if he's to keep that in play.
It's one of those games, Warren, we've already seen it. We really are going to have to do well with the ball when we've got it, because we are not going to get the ball anywhere near as often as Portsmouth are.
No, that's right. Your phases in possession are important. It's what the players work on every single day in training, so this is a key moment for us to retain the ball when we can. Chance here, though, for us.
Lewis Brown in towards Ben Winterburn. He finds David Brooks, whose shot is saved. It's on the line.
Yes!
Brooksy follows it up. And finally, Bournemouth have a goal. And it's that man, David Brooks, who has found the back of the net for the Cherries. He's had a journey of all journeys, from Hodgkin's lymphoma to being back on the pitch at Villa Park and back in the starting 11 for the Cherries today. And you can see Winterburn and David Brooks there, and it's a great save initially, but it trickles towards the line, and he does what all good players do. Their awareness there to follow the ball right to the back of the net, and that is a goal that will please the footballing world.
I think that's an amazing moment, and it's not a goal that David Brooks, it's not going to be his most important goal, but I tell you what it is, I bet you it's a goal that he's really proud of. It says a lot about what he's came through, and he's going to remember this for a long time.
A symbolic goal for David Brooks, the right place at the right time, all of that experience and knowledge and wisdom that he has for a youngster, and he has given Bournemouth a lifeline, and that's the perfect response, Neil.
It's absolutely fantastic. What we're not saying here is, had it not been for the hamstring injury that he got in August, he probably would have been playing regularly for the first team already. You remember his cancer all clear came through last May, towards the end of last season, just before we played Nottingham Forest. So he's been robbed of another 6 or 7 months by the hamstring injury as well.
Yeah. No, it's a really great moment. A little bit similar to us, they've given the ball away cheaply. It wasn't coming from our creative play, it was from their mistake.
The main thing is we've got a game on our hands here.
Brilliant. 3
goals already inside 25 minutes.
I said it 2-0 down, guys. A test of character, and well, they've certainly ticked that box at this moment in time.
Brilliant stuff from David Brooks. There'll be a lot of Bournemouth fans that enjoyed every second of that moment now, and it's about how can Alan Connell's side respond to the disappointments. They've got 1 goal back, and this is where you'll probably see the composure and experience of Portsmouth as well, as they look to break with Kobe Moto, who checks back inside now for the away side.
I think credit where credit's due. You can see Portsmouth's first team players are taking it seriously. They've got their manager here impressed. They need to get back into their first team, and the only way to do it is by doing it professionally on this stage.
Clark Robinson infield to Tom Lowry, who will find Jay Mingy, and Josh Dockerill will play back to the goalkeeper, who just wants to take the sting out of the game and try and get some pressure on the Cherries as he looks to find a player. But again, both sides looking to play out from the back. No one wants to hit long balls. This is a feature of modern football now, isn't it? And 2 sides, particularly Portsmouth, who will again want to play that passing, expansive football.
Yeah, there's no big fletches on the pitch that we're just hitting big 40, 50 yard diagonal passes to anymore. Those days are gone for most teams.
And it's Clark Robertson, plays it out wide for Portsmouth. He's got the run there of Adam Pace in behind, and infield come Pompey. Denver Hume back out wide for Portsmouth. A nice little ball in there towards Adam Pace, and Billy Terrell will fire this one up the pitch and release the pressure valve on that Bournemouth defence, but Clark Robinson does really well to guide his header back towards Jay Mingy, who's turned nicely in the middle of the park. It's a great ball out towards Kobe Moto, who's got time and space on this near side, and he looks to dance between players. He fires the ball across the box that goes just wide, but you've seen a little bit of what Kobe Moto can do there with his trickery and wing play, and he wants to shoot when given the opportunity. That one going just wide.
Yeah, he's one of their under-18s. I remember watching him playing against our under-18s just before Christmas. So they've got a smattering of 18s in their starting lineup as well. So yeah, that was a good bit of skill.
Yeah, I think just in terms of our left-hand side, where you've got Noah and Balin Johnson, it's evident that he wants to get back in on his left foot. They've got to be showing him a line, get him on his weaker right foot, send him where he doesn't want to be going.
Absolutely. No appearances for the first team for Kobe Moto. Billy Terrell there handles perfectly, and Bournemouth can look to reshape, regather, regroup and get ready to try and forge another attack. But once again, it's played short, as is the case with Bournemouth, looking to play out from the back. Williams to Kinsey, Wellings, and back infield to Williams, who wants to play out wide towards Winterburn, who takes it down, but it's cut out by Tom Lowry for Portsmouth, who finds that danger man, Kobe Moto, who wants to just check back towards the fullback, Brian Quam. Back infield to Jacobs. Lowry in towards Joe Piggott. It's a nice 1-2 with Jay Mingy, who's got space in the box. It's a left-footed shot, but it's blocked really, really smartly there by Ben Greenwood, who does really well.
That was a brilliant little first-time layoff from Joe Piggott to send their man in on goal. Luckily, emergency defending needed, and Ben's in a good position to block the ball.
ESETs are our sponsors for today's match on AFC TV. We're live at the Vitality Stadium in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. The Cherries currently behind by a goal, and Michael Jacobs will take this corner for the away side. It's played short to Jay Mingy. Ball into the box there, and there's a number of Portsmouth bodies. Joe Piggott with a header, but it's Bournemouth that will clear. Up towards Dan Aduajay, who does really well to find David Brooks, who's just been lingering out on that right-hand side. You know he wants to cut in field. It's a nice ball in toward Daniel Aduajay, who goes into the box, and it's a brilliant strike in off the post, across the line, and he buries it into that bottom corner. What an unbelievable transition from Bournemouth, from defence into attack. David Brooks at the heart of it, and Daniel Aduajay with a brilliant finish.
Absolutely fantastic breakaway. They've left us 3 for 3 after they've had a set piece. Brooks has got the ball, he's put it into the possession of Daniel Aduajay, and he does what he does brilliantly. I had absolutely no doubt that ball was in the back of the net, because 1v1 with the keeper, he's lethal, that boy.
That's why he's just been signed a 2-year contract as well, Mark. Finishing like that, he's having a work experience loan at Paul, doing really well there as well. What a lovely first touch as well from Brooksy's ball.
Absolutely brilliant. And you said at 2-0 down, this would be a test of character, this would be a test of the mindset, and they have come up 10 out of 10.
Alan will be absolutely made up with the return that he's got since it went to 2-0. As I said, really difficult to overcome that sort of challenge against this level of opposition, but at this moment in time we're doing all right.
Kobe Moto is testing Noah Breton now, and it's a rat race down this right-hand channel, and you can see the trickery. He's got the overlap from Kwan, ball into the box, but dealt with really well once again by Greenwood. Winterburn and Williams will try and get this one away for the Cherries.
Warren, I don't know anything about David Brooks' fitness, but how long do you think that he will be able to play today?
I don't think at this moment in time, given what he's been through, I'm pretty certain Alan will be under instruction not to play him for any more than it's required. You know, we need to treat him carefully. He's come a long way in a short period of time. But again, if we get 45 minutes, great, get him off, get his legs in an ice bath, get him ready to go to training again.
I'm sure he can't wait for that ice bath. And it's Mingy out wide, but it's given away needlessly by Portsmouth, and a chance for the Cherries to take the sting out of the game.
I was going to ask you about Brett Pittman, his AFC Porchester in the quarter-finals. They're due to play Basingstoke, I believe. How's he getting on there?
He really enjoys it, actually. He's obviously got, I think he's on 44 goals now, which is an amazing return considering there's still about 20 games to go.
And the Cherries are on the attack, and it's out wide from Winterburn to David Brooks, who's got a little bit of space. He's got an overlap as well. It's a shot from David Brooks, and it finds the back of the net with a little deflection. We don't care about the deflection, though. But David Brooks, once again, at the heart of everything going forward for the Cherries. What a positive day for him, and his left-footed strike has given Bournemouth the lead for the first time in the game. And you can see on the replay, Winterburn out wide to David Brooks, who just wants to get forward. It's a great strike, a little deflection, and it finds the back of the net. And this is getting better minute by minute for Bournemouth.
Amazing. A little bit of luck with the deflection, but like you said originally, we don't care about that.
He said it was a little deflection
A
as
little
well.
the little deflection that lobbed the goalkeeper.
Brilliant. If you could have said that David Brooks would get 2 goals, play this well, and we'd see a 5-goal thriller with barely 34 minutes on the clock, you would have gone home happy.
Yeah, defence is on top.
It's a real Roy of the Rovers story. There's an assist to throw in there as well, Mark.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb. This is brilliant to see. And not only are Bournemouth leading, but they're taking on a Portsmouth side with 7 first-team players in that 11 that have all played significant appearances in the first team this season, in the 3rd tier of English football, in the Football League Trophy, in the League Cup. And this young Cherry side are going toe-to-toe and doing superbly well. Billy Terrell now for the Cherries, who just fire it wide towards Noah Breton. He's got Johnson for support there, who will check back, and it's calm football from Bournemouth once again. It's played forward to Daniel Aduajay, who does really well with a header, but Portsmouth will mop up the pieces.
It's great the exposure that some of these boys are getting as well out on loan, you know, playing with respect at Wimborne Town and Poole. It's not going to look like what it does on a match day for the Cherries. So it gives them a different taste of what life can be like at the different levels, but it's more than helpful for their development.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago when Max and Lewis went with Wimborne for the first time. They went all the way to Bristol Manor Farm and sat on the bench all night and didn't even come on. That's fibre.
That's, yeah, and sometimes that's just the way it's got to be. Sometimes in their careers that is how it's going to be. None of us are clever enough to know where they're going to end up. You don't know what level. We all hope it's on this pitch for this team, but we know the reality is that's not going to happen for every one of them.
But you've seen a lot of success stories as well with academy players and development players that have gone off on loan into the Football League and down into National League as well. There's a couple of boys playing in League 2 at the moment and really showing what they're about.
Yeah, and it's great. The more exposure we can give them to men's football, the better it will be for the help and intelligence of where they're going to go in their career.
It was only a couple of years ago, Jayden Anthony, Mark Travers were playing in the Hampshire Senior Cup final. I remember at AFC Tottenham, Mark Travers even scored.
What a header that was. Was that last minute? I remember that. What a header.
Neil Perrett, you haven't missed a game in about 40 years, have you, for Bournemouth? Under 18s, reserves, development.
Neil feels like he's been. It just feels like he's always on your shoulder. He's just always there.
Like all good journalists.
Yeah.
When can I give you my stat about the record attendance in the Hampshire Senior Cup?
I think now's a good time.
1932, 20,544 watched Newport Isle of Wight play Cows Sports at the Dell.
No way.
And
Really?
Neil was there to watch it.
So did the whole Isle of Wight travel over to the Dell? It must have.
Well, we think it was in the days before floodlights, so it might have been during the day. And the whole of the Isle of Wight have made the journey. Why didn't they just play it on the Isle of Wight?
I know. Well, I'm not sure they've got a stadium there, have they?
It's the club's unofficial stats man there.
Well, there wasn't 20,000 when I played in the Hampshire Cup final at Fratton Park, I'll tell you. But I'll tell you what, I did remember about the night. I gave away the winning goal in extra time.
There's Daniel Aduajay now. He
do
finds
it.
David Brooks, who's on a hat-trick for the Cherries. It's another score!
Oh!
It's another goal! And this, as Neil said, is Roy of the Rovers stuff, because David Brooks has scored a first-half hat-trick in the Hampshire Senior Cup quarter-final. The crowd go wild. Every single Bournemouth player wants to go over to David Brooks to congratulate him. And you can see the calmness and composure here. And it's a brilliant strike.
Yeah, shows that he's not a one-trick pony with just the left foot. Opens up the angle with his right foot, and I think he wrong-foots the keeper. If you see the keeper, he actually looks like he's going to go the opposite side. David's giving him a bit of the eyes here, I think.
You can see from the angle behind the goal.
He sunk his right slightly.
And that is what you call Premier League class, Premier League experience, and that is absolutely fantastic. You're watching AFCB TV, and David Brooks has a first half hat-trick in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup, thanks to ESET, who are our sponsors for today's match day at the Vitality Stadium. And this is the stuff of dreams, isn't it?
It's absolutely remarkable. David will be absolutely delighted. Everyone in this stadium is absolutely delighted for him. Dare I say, I'm sure the Portsmouth fans will be as well.
Well, the reception from the Aston Villa fans on Saturday was very touching.
Yeah.
Whatever else happens tonight, this is a fairy tale.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
This is great success.
This is absolutely superb to watch. We were talking earlier about David Brooks playing 45 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever felt right. The match was irrelevant. Do we take him off now? Do we save him for the next Premier League match?
Or the next Hampshire Cup match? he might earn his place after tonight.
Michael Jacobs, ball into the box there, and it's a couple of headers. Clark Robertson with a shot, and it's a brilliant block, and it spins and twists away from the goal, but Pompey will have another corner, and that was a fantastic block from Noah Boutan, who has done everything that a good defender would do to keep that one out of the Bournemouth net. And the away side will have another corner here, but defensively brilliant.
His teammates celebrated with him like he'd scored a goal, Noah, there.
Yeah.
Ball into the box for Portsmouth again, but there are red and black bodies on the line. They're behind the ball and they're doing their defensive duties. It's Clark Robertson that will find a ball out wide, but it's headed clear, and David Brooks on that near side will twist and turn again.
Oh, and
you're seeing the qualities of David Brooks every single time he gets on the ball. Everyone is on the edge of their seat because they know what he can do. He's been a magician on the ball over his Bournemouth career, and you see him twisting and turning there, and he causes all sorts of problems for the defender.
It's easy to say, and it's probably a strange thing about to say, but he really is a cut above everyone on this football pitch, isn't he? He's got that much quality.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, Warren. He is obviously a cut above. We know what he can do because we remember before he got his illness.
Yeah.
How close is he to a Premier League return, do you think?
In terms of starting a match?
Yeah.
I think the boys will be patient with him. You know, as I said earlier, he's been through a long journey. So, look, we've got him in a good place at this moment in time. So I can see him maybe 2 or 3 games' time will be his first one. I don't see him starting the next one.
What an option for Gary O'Neill to have in the Premier League and the Premier League relegation battle as well. It's a brilliant touch from Brooks in towards Daniel Aduajay. He's got Johnson on his left-hand side, but the Portsmouth defence are wise to it, and they cut out another transitional attack for the Cherries. And you just want David Brooks on the ball.
Just give him a ball, and I think it translates to the rest of the players, and they want to give him a ball, and why wouldn't they after scoring a hat-trick and setting up the other goal?
He hasn't put a foot wrong either, has he?
No.
Everything he's done.
One pass early, maybe it Ben Winterburn that not slipped through, but we'll let him away with that, will we?
Definitely.
What a night here at the Vitality Stadium. You're watching AFCB TV live. This is the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. We're not even at half-time, and we've seen 6 goals so far. And Portsmouth on the break with Jay Mingy. He's got Joe Piggott in the middle of the park, but it's cut out really well by Max Kinsey Wellings, who does well for the Cherries there to sniff out the danger. Back in by Clark Robinson to Piggott. And it's Greenwood that will fire that one up the park.
I absolutely love this battle. Clark Robertson and Daniel Aduajay. What is he going to get out of this, Daniel?
Well, he's going to learn what it's like to play against a seasoned professional who's a lot bigger than him. And Daniel's not a really tall lad, but he's going to come up against some really big centre-halves in his career. This will be a great test for him. He's going to have to be cute with his movement, which he is. He's going to have to be resilient in terms of strong, physically. But he started the game brilliantly.
Clark Robinson, the most experienced player for Portsmouth. The 29-year-old joined Pompey in the summer of 2021 from Rotherham. And the away side have a free kick down on this near touchline.
Daniel's obviously learning a lot from his mentor, Tony Yeboah, who is his father's best friend, and he calls him Uncle Tony.
Okay, that's something that I didn't know. Well, that's a hell of a role model for him, because what a player he was. And by the way, how strong was he? Wow.
Kobe Moto now picking up the ball. Noah Boutan back to defend. Joe Pigott with the run, but once again, brilliant defensively from Greenwood. Bhutan and Torre Williams can now take the ball away from that defensive unit and get Bournemouth up the pitch. Kinsey Wellings, who finds David Brooks, who's got more time and space on that channel where he's just been operating throughout the course of this evening and doing so well. And it's David Brooks challenging and pressing and working for the Cherries as they try to win the ball back. And Portsmouth know they're in for a match here. And John Mousinho must be looking at this thinking, how is this experienced Portsmouth side being opened up by a young Cherries outfit who have done the club and Alan Connell proud so far, but there is a long way to go.
Long way to go. Listen, and it's not because Portsmouth have slacked off running. We've just been very good since we went down 2-0. So I'm not sure what they'll be thinking in the Portsmouth dressing room at half-time. I'll tell you what we won't like. You know, they're proud seasoned professionals, a lot of them. They won't want to get beat by a group of kids.
Definitely not. I mean, like you said, what's it going to be like in that change room? I mean, how does John Mousinho deal with things at half-time? Does he take some of these players off and make some substitutions? I'm sure he's probably going to do that anyway. That was probably the plan. But like you said, there's a long way to go. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. No. But it's just been a fantastic second half to the first half, if you like.
Absolutely. I think Alan's message will be, look, when we give the ball away against any team, you're going to be in trouble. And that's what we did early in the match, to concede a couple of goals. Since then, we haven't done it. We haven't given away cheap possession. We've kept our shape well. We've counter-attacked well when we had to. And that'll be the message again from Alan.
Torre Williams does really well there to find Bailyn Johnson, who wants to dance between defenders. He finds Ben Winterburn, but it's cut out, and Daniel Aduajayi will press Clark Robertson there. And this is some good play from Portsmouth and some hard-working defensive duties from the Cherries. And Tom Lowry will try and find a pass in towards Joe Pigott. He's marshalled well by Greenwood, who turns and twists, and he finds a ball out wide. And there's the overlap. Jacobs down to that left-hand side. He's in the box there. He needs to be stopped. He's got clever feet, but his shot goes just over the bar and into the north stand there. But that's a dangerous situation that Bournemouth need to watch.
Yeah, David Brooks has actually just lost his man and allowed him to get the run on him that's allowed him into our box. The probably disappointing thing from Alan's perspective, though, is he actually got the shot away without actually much pressure on him.
I'd like you to commentate on a game that I'm playing in, because if you think that went just over the bar, Mark, you must need some glasses.
I was trying to be kind for the Portsmouth fans watching on AFC BTV, and the fourth official has put the board up to say there will be 2 minutes of extra time in this first half at the Vitality Stadium. And this now is about cool, calm heads, see the half out.
See the game out. You know, you got a 2-goal advantage. Get in, have a little wash, have a little drink, and regroup and get ready for the second period.
And it's Bailyn Johnson that gives away a free kick there inside the Portsmouth box as he was aggressively trying to get the ball back. And a chance for Bournemouth to regroup, reorganise, and Pompey will play out from the back once again. And it's Clark Robertson on the far side for Pompey.
I must give a little shout out, if you don't mind, to our...
You've done a few shout outs tonight.
Yeah, education officer Don Roach. She asked me to give her a name check. So this one's for you, Don.
Just a shout out. Big shout out to Dawn Roach. And it's Portsmouth on the far side. Brooklyn Genesini does really well to provide a defensive block, but it's Portsmouth once again into the byline towards Jay Mingy, but it's cut out by the Cherries. And they've got to be smart over the next 60 seconds if they're to keep this 2-goal cushion at the break. Portsmouth in towards Pace there, who's inside the box, and he's twisting and turning. It's a great foot by Billy Terrell, but it's back in and cleared by Brooklyn Genesini. And there was some smart goalkeeping there, and he needed to be on his wits to keep that one away. But it's Lowry for Portsmouth who will try and build another attack.
An important save, because would have given Portsmouth the momentum going into half-time if they're going to pull one back, which is why we just need to see out this remaining few seconds, going at 4-2.
And we're into the last few seconds of this first half. Jay Mingy into the Bournemouth box. But Winterburn does really well. And there is the half-time whistle from the referee, Gary Parsons. It's a 6-goal thriller at the Vitality Stadium. in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup, and we'll review the first 45 minutes now with Warren Cummings and Neil Perrett. But that half was all about one man and one man only. It was the David Brooks show, and what a joy that was to watch. Let's take a look at the goals and the action. What will Alan Connell's first comments be in that dressing room?
Well done. He showed great resilience after coming 2-0 down to score 4 goals, so it shows that they've got characters. I questioned that what might be getting asked of them when they're 2-0 down, so he'll be really happy with that.
This was the goals as they went in. Tom Lowry with the first goal there, who finds the far corner, and like you say at the time, a disappointing one there, and a defensive error.
Yes, I felt like both the goals that we conceded was a result of our poor play as opposed to their good creative play.
And this is another one. Kobe Moto in the box there for the second Pompey goal.
You're starting to get a little bit worried now, aren't you? Going 2-0 behind so early in the game, young team against an experienced team. You know, you're right up against it there, and the character that they've shown to come back is just fantastic.
That's what you said, Warren. It was all about character going 2-0 down, and they saw it in abundance, didn't they? The response was exactly what you'd want from a young side.
They did, and we didn't have to wait too long to get the goal to get us back into the game. And just that one goal would have given the whole team such a lift. They could understand that, yeah, we can compete in this game against this first team players that they've got.
And this is the first of the 4 Bournemouth goals coming up now. And this wasn't the most spectacular goal, but boy, did it mean something.
It did, because of who scored the goal, Mark. Just a brilliant moment for David Brooks. A brilliant moment for everyone that's actually here watching tonight and watching on the TV.
But that's the great thing about David Brooks. He's almost showing the youngsters what to do there. You have a shot, it gets saved, but you keep going. You follow it in, you keep going, you don't stop.
Yeah, he understands that the rebound was going to be important for him. He didn't stop. He actually, the first goal scrappy because it goes past the keeper. The ball actually gets kicked against him from their defender rather than Brooks actually having a shot. Looks like it came off his shin.
And here's David Brooks again in towards Daniel Duajay, and that's a brilliant strike in off the post.
Yeah, a great pass from David, a great first touch to get him in behind Daniel, and as I said earlier, I had no doubt that he was going to score that goal.
Brilliant strike, Neil.
Yeah, how often do you see those come out when they hit the post like that? So great to see that one hit the back of the net. Probably going to be overshadowed by everything else that's happened in the first half, unfortunately, but very well taken goal.
Yeah.
This is the third Bournemouth goal. David Brooks with a shot, a little deflection, but in over the goalkeeper, and that was his second goal of the day with 1 assist.
If you've paid £5 to come in today, you've got your money's worth already.
Yes, it's been an entertaining first 45, that's for sure.
And David Brooks is celebrating his goals like another good friend of yours, James Hayter.
Yeah.
And here's David Brooks for the hat-trick. Pure quality. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. It's a calm, composed finish, right-footed, which offsets the goalkeeper. He's going one direction, the ball's going the other. But that's the type of quality you've got from someone like David Brooks.
Yeah, unbelievable. And what an example for the young players that are next to him on this pitch. You know, to watch him, what he's gone through in his life in the last 18 months to 2 years is incredible. And to show the example he's setting right now for our young boys, and also my ball boys, you know, I'll be speaking to them tomorrow night at training about what they witnessed and how they felt and what did they learn. And it's brilliant for every one of them.
And just finally, Neil, a quick word. The first 5-10 minutes of the second half, crucial, because they've got a 2-goal cushion, they need to keep their heads.
Which is why that Billy Terrell save right at the end of the first half was so important. If it's 4-3 now, the momentum would have been back with Portsmouth, so if we can keep them out for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I think there's going to be some changes from both teams at half-time probably, so we're going to see some different sort of personnel as well. But yeah, the first 5-10 minutes, see what we can do.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Neil Perrett and Warren Cummings. You're watching AFCB TV. We've had a 6-goal thriller so far in the opening 45 minutes of the Hampshire Senior Cup quarter-final. Do not go anywhere. We can guarantee you some more goals. Welcome back to AFCB TV. As you can see, the Cherries are back out on the pitch here after their half-time team talk. It's currently AFC Bournemouth 4, Portsmouth 2 in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. They've got 1 foot in the semi-finals, but there is a big 45 minutes ahead. The story of the day, David Brooks started today, scored a hat-trick with an assist as well, and he, I think, is going to be coming off at half-time. Warren Cummins has just hot-footed over from the dugouts and the dressing rooms to give us a little bit of an insight. Was there anything that was said? What's happening, Warren?
I didn't actually listen to Alan, so I let him do his team talk while I was outside the dressing room. And then I just went in just to say well done for the first half, good luck for the second. Obviously could see that David was being withdrawn, which I think is sensible given where he's come from. So hopefully we can have a good second half.
And obviously we said at the end of that first half, mentality, mindset, being structured, being organised, being switched on the first 5 or 10 minutes just to keep that 2-goal cushion is going to be crucial.
And I'd imagine that Alan will have drummed that into them at half-time as well. It looks like Michael Da Costa Gonzalez is coming on for David Brooks, another exciting young player. Give him the ball and watch what he can do with it. He's great to watch as well.
He is. He's a bit of an enigma. He's got really good 1v1 capabilities. You feed him the ball, he's unpredictable. He's not easy to play against. Sometimes his unpredictability can be his downfall because sometimes no one knows what he's going to do.
So that confirmation has just come through of the change for the Cherries. A brilliant 45 minutes for David Brooks as he continues to come back from the hamstring injury and Hodgkin's lymphoma. And you can hear the Portsmouth fans trying to get behind the away side, and we're underway once again at the Vitality Stadium, and there's a change as well for the away side, and it's played forward, and Kinsey Wellings can mop things up with Billy Terrell at the back, and Bournemouth can look to play out from the back once again. Bhutan on the far side plays it infield to Williams, who's under pressure immediately in his own box, and you can see a very aggressive Portsmouth press in the opening stages of this second half. Played forward into Daniel Aduajay, who does really well to bring the ball down, and it's Brown. And some nice passing from the Cherries. Winterburn, who just goes back. Williams, 1-2, and this is exactly what Alan will want to see. They'll turn Portsmouth now with Daniel Aduajay, who's going to try and put the defensive line under pressure, but it's headed back towards the Pompey goalkeeper, and a chance for the Cherries to organise. And we've got a man down on the far side for Portsmouth, and it looks like they may be forced into an early change. Harvey Laidlaw was one of the substitutes for Pompey. They might have to make another one already, even though they've only got 5 on the bench, one of those being a goalkeeper. Michael Jacobs was the player that came off for Portsmouth, someone who's scored 4 goals in 31 appearances for the first team this season, and he was just playing 45 minutes there. And it's Harvey Laidlaw that was the substitute, alongside Michael Gonzalez Da Costa for the Cherries, who was on, of course, for David Brooks.
Yeah, they look like they're going to be forcing another change early in the second half here. Brian Quorum, the right back, looks like he's pulled up lame with some sort of injury, so they're going to have to make another change at this time. It's enforced. I was delighted at half-time walking around, and I was seeing that obviously I've taught the kids well. They're all munching hot dogs and drinking Cokes. So, well done, lads.
A warm hot dog sounds absolutely perfect right now. The wind is swirling around the Vitality Stadium. The temperature has dropped, and it's a bit nippy to say the least in the AFCB TV gantry. But that one's cut out brilliantly by Greenwood. The ball was directed towards Piggott. Greenwood spotted it and done really well, and it's the captain for Portsmouth now who plays it in towards Laidlaw and back towards Clark Robertson. And it's Brown that will press and put the goalkeeper under pressure, and he finds Lowry, who can turn on the ball. Robertson, he's got Laidlaw out wide to his left, and it's a great ball in towards Joe Piggott, whose touch is a good one, and it's played forward out on that right hand side by Kobe Moto, who's got options infield. We know he wants to dance and twist on the ball, but his pass is a poor one. But it's Bournemouth who give the ball away again, and Lowry can try and make something happen for Portsmouth. And he finds Hume, who plays in towards Piggott, who's a good first touch, and a shot there but Billy Terrell is in the right place. A bit of a daisy cutter, that one, but once again an early sighter of what Joe Pigott can do, and Bournemouth need to be switched on here. And the referee, Gary Parsons, is not very happy with something, and there's a switch of ball.
So this is what I told you I was going to tell them to do. Look, I've got the ball boys throwing 2 balls onto waste time after 48 minutes. It's brilliant to watch.
Straight out of the Jose Mourinho School of Management here, Warren Cummings. Telling everyone the tactics of the ball boys in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. Anything to win a trophy.
There was a lovely moment in the Liverpool game when Ollie Morgan was a ball boy in front of us. And I think he might have been just stalling a little bit, and Mo Salah just came over and smiled at him and picked the ball off the plinth and carried on playing. It was funny.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I just heard actually I think there was a complaint that came from our staff that we had, I won't name players, but I think a couple of our players were getting the ball back into the pitch a little bit too quick for our management's liking against Liverpool.
Kinsey Wellings back towards Billy Terrell. And Terrell has the ball now. And you can see whilst Bournemouth want to play out from the back and stick to their philosophy, they're not afraid to play forward as well, which is important under pressure.
Well, the thing is, Billy's a good kicker of the ball as well. So, you know, that's just not an aimless punt. That's a pass. That's passing a right wing position, 60 yards up the pitch. You know, there's more than one way it's going to cut. If you can get the ball with one pass into the opposition half with quality, rather than build up play with 15 passes, the same thing. Same thing.
Well, Billy is clearly a very highly rated goalkeeper because he attended an England development camp at the start of this season, so he's certainly one for the future.
Started his career at Portsmouth, then went to Southampton and joined Bournemouth at the age of 15.
That's a trivia question, isn't it? Who's played for Bournemouth, Portsmouth and Southampton? Billy Terrell.
I'm trying to think. Anyone else?
Yeah, Colin Clark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brown with a loose touch there, and Adam Pace will pick things up for Portsmouth. It's a ball played forward but cut out by Winterburn, and once again the Cherries with Brown doing really well out wide to Bailyn Johnson, and you can see the intensity from Portsmouth as they try and win the ball back, and a real meaty challenge there for Bailyn Johnson to ride.
Just put a bit of context on the Colin Clark, played here in 1986, and he was the first Bournemouth player to play in the World Cup finals, played for Northern Ireland, and the second ones were Kiefer and Chris Mepham in the last World Cup.
Neil, he never fails, does he? Never fails to come up with a bit of useless trivia.
Da Costa Gonzalez there starts the move in towards Williams. Bhutan out wide there for the Cherries, and Bailyn Johnson now with a little hop and a skip, and he comes in field and he's got the overlap from Bhutan, who puts the ball in towards the back stick there, and he's going to put the goalkeeper under pressure, and it ends up being a really good smart save from Josh Oluwayemi, who had to do that as well because the ball was looping and swirling in the wind and it could have snuck in, and you can see here on the replay that the goalkeeper hits the post.
Looked painful. Looked very painful. I hope his back's okay.
And it's Brooklyn Genesini now that will take this corner for the Cherries. Boscombe back of the net, rings around the Vitality, and it's a good header from Ben Winterburn, who was unmarked in the Pompey box, but he was just stretching. It was just too high for him.
That's off the training ground, that one. We've got two players that have ran them into the box. Ben comes a third one late, and they've tried to find him. We did find him. It was a great ball. Unfortunately, he just couldn't direct his header.
We've got a substitute here for the Cherries, and coming on is Ollie Morgan for Bailyn Johnson. Ollie Morgan, Neil.
Ollie Morgan, left back, left-sided defender, first-year scholar, still playing for the under-18s. Obviously not moved up to the development squad just yet. Bailyn Johnson. And he's moved Noah. It looks like Noah's gone to left
Noah's
wing.
gone to left wing, and Ollie's come on at left back. Ollie was in the first group that I taught when I came back as an academy coach. what's the beauty of him, I don't know if you remember, Neil, in the Liverpool game, always two-footed, and it really shows what a difference it can make.
I saw that on Saturday. I watched him taking corners with both feet, and I just could not believe it.
Do you know what? I reckon if you said to Ollie, what footed are you? I think you could say just both, because I don't know which one's better. There's only one other player that I think, there's only one player I ever played with that could do that to my memory, and that was Harry Arter. Harry Arter used to take free kicks and corners with both feet. Yeah. And I remember I remember discussing Ollie Morgan with Harry Arter, believe it or not, about start of the season, just because I was talking about the benefits of teaching the kids how to be able to use 2 feet. And I text Harry and I said, Harry, what's your strongest foot? And he went, no idea. No idea. I said, did you teach yourself it as a young boy? What was it that you did? He went, no, I was just able to kick the ball with both feet. I was like, okay.
Natural.
It's part of being a footballer from the age of 3 or 4 or 5 these days. They don't have a favoured foot. They get educated to play with both all the time,
which is great because my right foot was only for stepping on the buses.
Did you have a right foot?
Well, some would argue no, not to my memory. I made up for it with a left foot, so
beauty of
what's
a
the
left
point
foot?
of having 2 good ones when you can have 1 amazing one, eh?
Was it 301 games Mark said that you played? And I can't remember him making
that's what
any.
I calculated, but I could have been
301. I think Mark's wrong by 1 appearance. I think it's 302.
Oh, okay. You can let me off. It's Michael Da Costa Gonzalez there. Ball into the box from Brown. He's searching for that ball over the far side. And it's Jay Mingy that will take it for the Cherries. But once again, Bournemouth pressing high. They win the ball back, and it's a smart 1-2. Da Costa Gonzalez now, who will find Genesini out on this right-hand side, who wants to check back in field. He's got options. Williams finds a forward pass, but it's cut out by Lowry, who plays forward. And that is brilliant defending once again from Ben Greenwood. He'll want to have a crack here. He's got options on the left-hand side, but he continues his run. Bhutan back to Brown. Brown in the box towards Greenwood, but it's a poor pass. And Pompey can come away with it. But once again, Da Costa Gonzalez wants to press and win the ball high up the pitch for the Cherries. And you can see that intensity from Alan Connell's side is there still in this second half.
Absolutely. They'll know that if they take the foot off the pedal here, that the quality in this Portsmouth side, can hurt them and be harmful. So the more pressure we get onto the ball, the better it will be, and easy it will be for our boys as well.
The only problem with Bailyn Johnson going off, Mark, is it's ruined my fun fact about him.
Okay, you can still give it as now.
In the 2013 Champions League final, he was a mascot and walked out with Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh. At Wembley.
Brilliant.
Bayern Munich against Borussia Dortmund, and he is in the stands. And it's Portsmouth. Denver Hume infield, back towards Hume, who's on the edge of the area. Mingy to Robertson. It's a smart 1-2. Robertson continues his run, but he's marshalled once again by Bournemouth, and that's a superb defensive challenge.
Way too quick, that ball boy.
Max Kinsey-Welling's a fantastic tackle there. Had to get everything right there, and he did.
Yeah, no, it was a well-timed and much-needed challenge.
Ball played forward, but it's a stray pass for the Cherries, and it's with Mingy in the middle of the park. Out wide to Hume. Mingy once again for Pompey, and Robertson has got a little bit of space on the left-hand side, who finds the ball infield towards Lowry, who twists and turns and loses his man and drives towards goal. And Portsmouth feel like they're building something, and this is where Bournemouth are going to have to be switched on. Ball in towards Lowry, who's on the edge of the area. It's a smart turn. He gets it onto that favoured left foot, but it's a good shot and an even better block. And Mingy is brought down, and this could be dangerous with the physical presence of Pompey, Warren.
Yeah, brilliant block again by Ben Greenwood. He's really led by examples, our captain tonight. He's put his body in front of quite a few things now, and he's protecting the goal well.
It's an important time now for the older players in the Bournemouth team to come to the fore. Looking at Brooklyn Genesini, Ben Greenwood leading by example, like you said. This is important now. We need to sort of weather this little wave of pressure from Portsmouth.
Yeah, the ones that have been here and played in this stadium in front of these sort of many fans before will help the younger ones.
Joe Pigott stood over the ball now. He's going to hit it first time, but it's a tame shot and goes right towards Billy Tyrrell, who is calm as he dives to his right-hand side, and that's exactly what you want to see from those type of free kicks. The goalkeeper does well. Joe Pigott not at his best there, and it's Bournemouth in possession. Fed in towards Bhutan, who does really well, but gives the ball away there as he cuts in field. And it's these sloppy passes and this little bit of pressure that Bournemouth are going to have to ride out, Warren.
Well, I think it's important for Noah. If you know Noah Bhutan, is, obviously you've probably seen him quite a lot as well, Neil. One of his strengths is not drifting inside like he just did there. You want him using his pace on the outside of players rather than congesting the play by coming inside.
It's Denver Hume for Pompey, who plays infield to Lowry, who's got time on the ball. He wants to make something happen, and it's a smart 1-2 with Pigott, who knocks it back, and it's out wide for Portsmouth. And they've got options infield. Laidlaw towards Clark Robertson. And Lowry once again. The fullbacks advanced, but it's defensively good work from Bournemouth, but the referee disagrees, and Gary Parsons gives Pompey another free kick, this one in an even more dangerous position.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, because, like you said, the last one wasn't perhaps what they were looking for, but the same player's got the ball, he's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to take aim again.
Yeah. Joe Pigott, I've actually seen him score a couple of free kicks when he was at Wimbledon as a player, and he has got a better strike than what he showed in that initial free kick. This one is different, it is a little bit closer, and the angle looks like it might favour him a little bit as well.
This is going to be a challenge for Billy Terrell. We've got a wind draft in the wall as well, a doorstop, and it's Pigott, and it curls around the wall, but it's high and just over the bar, and that one didn't challenge the Bournemouth goalkeeper.
Do you know, you say the wind stopper behind the wall. I'll be honest, I don't get the benefit of it. I understand why they're there, but very little in my career did I ever see players trying to go under a wall. I think
that was a Ronaldinho thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't many players that have tried it.
That's unfortunate, Lewis. Looking for Noah there. Noah, it's great to see a lad left wing and left back in the same game.
Yes, he's versatile in that respect. He likes to get forward, so playing in the more advanced position can help him and help the team. He's blessed with blistering pace, so you'll always be a problem to come up against an opposition fullback.
Daniel Aduajay does really well there. He's brought down, but he's back on his feet, and it was a fair challenge according to the referee, and he goes back to win the ball, and that was a fair challenge as well, and that's brilliant from the striker, and Bournemouth can try and build something now. It's out wide with Bhutan, who makes an overlapping run infield towards Brown. Nice little flick into Daniel Aduajay, and that was so close to being a brilliant move for the Cherries, but they've got to be careful now, because it's Jay Mingy who is surging forward for Portsmouth. He's got options with Moto out wide, who has to check back because Mingy's run takes him into an offside position, but it's Lowry now for Pompey, who plays it towards the skipper, who's got time to have a shot, but that one was always going wide. And with 61 minutes on the clock, Bournemouth have seen out that first 15 minutes of the second half, and they've done really well.
They have. It's been pretty comfortable. Yeah, we've had to deal with a couple of shots from distance, but nothing that's troubled Billy Terrell too much. Alan will be delighted with what he just saw from Daniel there up top. One of the big things we talk about in the academy is positive reactions to mistakes. He's given the ball away. He's reacted instantly and brilliantly with his reaction to go and win the ball back.
Lewis Brown towards Michael Da Costa Gonzalez, who wants to try and make something happen. Torrey Williams does really well there. Out wide, Greenwood forward towards Bhutan, who's made a run in behind. He's onside and he checks back. He's brought down, but he stays on his feet, and a ball is blocked in towards the box. I don't think that one was a penalty, so he did well to carry on.
Yeah, it was a good pass.
But a really good pass, a nice move,
yeah,
and another opportunity for Bournemouth to show how dangerous they can be when they find those passes and put Portsmouth under pressure.
Yeah, it was a good run in behind. Noah getting in behind with a good pass from Ben Greenwood, just unable to just keep his feet at that right moment. Unfortunately, just petered out into nothing for us.
And it's a ball from Robertson played forward down the left-hand channel. First time ball into the box. Brooklyn Genesini gets enough on it to just take out the sting of the cross and into the waiting arms of Billy Terrell, who wants to play forward quickly. And it's Ben Winterburn with a nice smart ball quickly out towards Bhutan on that far side. He's got the overlapping run, but he goes round the man with ease and he plays it across the box. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? But it's going to be a goal kick, whatever it was.
Well, I'm not sure if you noticed or heard it. It sounded like a deflection. I'm sure it deflected there and it should have been a corner kick. But no, there's my example. Look, he's used his pace to great effect, gets in behind a nice bit of skill. Maybe I'm talking rubbish with the deflection.
AFC Bournemouth 4, Portsmouth 2 in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. You're live on AFC BTV thanks to ESET, our sponsors for tonight's game. So far, so good for the Cherries. If you're just joining us, you've missed out on a spectacular opening 45 minutes where David Brooks scored a first-half hat-trick and he got an assist. And it's Kobe Moto now for Portsmouth. Ball into the box, but it's headed away by the Cherries. And Daniel Aduajayi will do well to hold things up. And Bournemouth just playing a little bit of keep ball. It's a dangerous run from Brooklyn Genesini, but a confident one. And Bournemouth are looking to build something. Ball played forward towards Daniel Aduajayi. It's one-on-one with Robertson. He does really well to turn the man. He's on his left-hand side. And it's a brilliant strike past the goalkeeper. And Bournemouth have 5 in a 5-star performance in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. And Daniel Aduajayi, the young under 18-year-old, up against the 29-year-old experienced Clark Robinson. He's twisted and he's turned one way and then gone another, and he strikes perfectly past the goalkeeper. What a brilliant goal that was.
Well, he had no right to get the ball there. It was a bit of a misjudgment by Clark Robertson that allowed him. He actually got ahead of the ball. That allows Daniel to duck in from behind him. Clark Robertson. What would happen if he got sent off here tonight? Would he miss first team match, or is it only in this competition? Right, okay. I mean, he's taking a hell of a chance. Oh, and it's looked like his night's up as well, Clark Robertson.
The Portsmouth skipper looks like he's seen enough for today. He's been a part of a back line that's conceded 5 goals and a different style of Bournemouth play. Direct ball, but strength and power.
Yeah.
The ability to make something happen, and then a fantastic finish.
Well, again, it shows Daniel he's clinical in front of goal. You give him a chance, 1v1, 9 times out of 10, that ball's going into the back of the net. And well done, well deserved. And you know what I love about that goal? The fact that, if you remember, just before he's giving the ball away, positive reaction to win the ball back, and then that happens. So it's a great moment for him.
Brilliant stuff from the Cherries. Absolutely superb. We said half-time, Neil. They had 1 foot in the semi-final. Have they got 1.5 feet in the semi-final now?
No comment, Mark.
Come on, Neil, you'll know this answer. If they get to the final, Bournemouth, lo and behold, where would the final be? Do you know?
Well, I was looking at the last few finals. As you know, Tottenham was where we played in the final. Fratton Parker staged the final, like you said.
Yeah.
We've had the final here as well.
Yeah.
So I think they look to see who's in it before they decide. It was on Sunday that our women's team reached the final of the Hampshire Senior Cup as well.
Brilliant, congratulations to them.
Fantastic stuff for the Cherries. Under the new ownership of Bill Foley, the club heading in the right direction, that's for sure. And that's a brilliant ball, a searching ball for Noah Bhutan, who's got time and space. He's into the box. The ball isn't great, but it falls towards Daniel Aduajayi and cleared by Portsmouth. But once again, a quality long pass.
Yeah.
Bhutan in behind. The ball into the box wasn't quite the one he'd have wanted. But Bournemouth look dangerous every time they go forward. And it's Bhutan once again. That's a brilliant ball from Genesini. And Ollie Morgan will pick up the pieces for the Cherries as they look to try and build something again from the back. And they're just taking the sting out of the game here. And you're seeing experienced performances from young players as they just look to control the tempo of the match.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you need to do now, isn't it? It sounds easy, but, take the sting out of the game, have a spell in possession. I mean, it's quite evident they know that they've got a threat now, that their right back can't deal with the pace of Noah Bhutan, so don't do anything different. Keep sticking the ball in behind him because he gives us success.
It's a shame that the Man of the Match award, there's a Man of the Match today, is obviously probably going to go to David Brooks, but it's a shame we can't have a Man of the Match for the second half, because at the moment, Ben Greenwood's winning it for me.
Michael Da Costa Gonzalez in towards Daniel Aduaje. And that's a brilliant stop from Josh Oluwayemi, who does really well there.
I told you it was only 9 times out of 10 he scores in 1v1 situations. See, I'm glad I never said 10.
He's on a brace. He'll be desperate to get a hat-trick.
Of course he will.
David Brooks already has a hat-trick.
And it's another feature, that chance of a lot of what's going on against, for both teams tonight in terms of the goals, it's come from a mistake from them rather than a creative bit of play from us.
Pouncing on errors, the Cherries are. Greenwood out wide towards...
I just hope Uncle Tony's watching the stream tonight, see him finish that goal.
I'm sure he will. And Brown's in the box there. Really smart play by Lewis Brown, who does really well to ghost into that Portsmouth penalty area, and he wins the Cherries a corner. And you can hear the fans in the background. They're not Bournemouth fans, that's the Pompey fans getting behind their side despite them being 5-2 down. And the Cherries have a corner. And it's going to be whipped in right-footed. A number of bodies in the box there. It's swirling in the wind. But Oluwayemi does really well to claim that ball for Portsmouth. Kobe Moto, who's been much quieter in this second half, feeds in a ball which is cut out by the Cherries, and it's Williams to Greenwood, back towards Billy Terrell, who's calm in possession, who finds Morgan, who looks to play forward, and it's a positive move for the Cherries. They've got options out towards the right-hand side. Kinsey Wellings now will find a searching ball forward for Lewis Brown, and that one's just cut out by Portsmouth. But once again, the danger is there. And Portsmouth through Piggott and Mingy, who is brought down, and the referee says that one's a free kick in the middle of the park for the away side.
Neil, I have to agree with what you said regarding Ben Greenwood. I think other than the David Brooks first half special show, I think he's been a model of consistency with and without the ball tonight, and really led by example.
He's been brilliant at the back. I've been really impressed with his performance so far, and showing the type of qualities that you need at this level to then step up as well and go again. And
versatile as well, Warren. You would know he's a left back by trade, and he's now playing as a left-sided centre half.
Yeah, no, so that's great for his development as well, that he shows that he can play in both positions, and good for any manager looking at him tonight, knowing that he can do both jobs for you.
He looks like, it reminds me a little bit of Jason Pearce.
Okay.
Someone with a bit of heart,
yeah,
a bit of passion.
Yeah.
He looks aggressive. He wants to play.
Yeah.
Brings a bit of all of that.
He does. No, he does, and he trains how he plays. Every day in training, he gives 110% at everything he does, and he takes that on in match day as well. Demands high standards. I can see him having a little go at one of his teammates there for giving the ball away a bit cheaper than they should have.
And he didn't come through the conventional way either. He's certainly not been in the academy very long. He was playing like Wessex League level for Tinkle Fleet Spurs.
Yeah.
Had a couple of rejections from some other clubs, and found his way here, and it's just gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, he has. I think he joined as an under-19 as a first-year pro, I think. So he's been with us for maybe three years, but really good boy he is, Ben. Really good boy.
Daniel Aduaje now, and Michael Da Costa Gonzalez just gives the ball away, but wins it back, and then comes in field. Aduaje plays a fantastic ball out towards Bhutan on that left-hand side, who cuts infield. He's got options in the middle of the park with Winterburn. Back out wide. He's got the run of Bhutan there, who's into the box, but his cross isn't great, but it's only half cleared by Portsmouth. And this is another opportunity for Da Costa Gonzalez, who's got Genesini on the right-hand side on the overlap. Back towards Williams. In towards Brown, who switches the play. Morgan out wide to Bhutan. A great run there from Morgan. Ball into the box towards Aduaje at the near post, but it's cleared. But Bournemouth still have possession.
There you go. No,
No, they don't.
no one running inside into traffic.
Yeah.
And he's had success being on the outside, so hopefully he can learn again.
Laidlaw back towards the far side for Portsmouth. A couple of changes for the Pompey side, a couple of new faces into this team for the second half. A little bit more youthful now, the away team, from how they started the game, with 7 Portsmouth first team players, 6 under-18s for the Cherries. But it's been a superb performance from Alan Connell's side, who are edging closer to the semi-final with every minute that ticks down, and they're just taking the sting out of the game. Winterburn back towards Kinsey Wellings, who's got a little bit of time on the ball there, but it's given away. But back towards Williams, ball over the top towards Michael Da Costa Gonzalez, who's got time now on this right hand side. He's got options in the middle of the park, cuts infield, he's into the box, he wants to have a shot, he checks back, but he's just patient with possession, allowing Genesini to join the attack now. He can come infield and try and make something happen as he comes off the line on this right hand side. It's only half cleared. Daniel Duajay there trying to bring the ball down, but it's Greenwood who's calm to Torre Williams, who finds Genesini. And these are the key moments in the game where Bournemouth are just going to have to keep doing the right things, keep the ball, don't stop what they've been doing so well throughout the game so far, and keep putting Portsmouth under pressure.
Another substitution coming up, I believe.
Giddery is going to be coming onto the pitch for Noah Bhutan.
Now, I think Noah was a bit of a doubt. I think he took a knock playing for Gosport on Saturday. I know he wasn't in the original starting lineup, so he came in late. So he's been doing really, really well as well.
At Gosport.
Well, he's been done really well.
He's done well tonight. No, I've heard it. He's done really well at Gosport. A couple of lads that I know down there spoke really highly of him. Danny Hollins is obviously his teammate, so Danny said that Noah's been really effective for them.
So another new face.
Mark Molesley, of course, Gosport.
Yes, he's the director of football, I believe, at Gosport. Former Cherries icon, huge part of that side that had their rise from League 2 to League 1. Was that 2008, 9, 10?
10.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Who needs his Premier League lark, eh?
Portsmouth have an opportunity now with Jay Mingy, who puts it out wide to Moto, whose ball into the box is searching for Piggott. It's a downward header, but there are Bournemouth bodies on the line, and Billy Terrell can claim possession and just see away a few more seconds on the clock. You're watching AFCB TV tonight in the Hampshire Senior Cup quarter-final, thanks to ESET, our sponsors for tonight's match. It's been a 5-star Cherries performance. There's still time for more goals as well, as Torre Williams looks to bring the ball out from the back. He finds a smart pass out wide, and there's options down on that left-hand side, and it's back infield. Brown is in there, but it's given away by the Cherries. Torre Williams now will just take the sting out of the game. Greenwood, who turns back infield, and he'll play towards the goalkeeper. And this is typical Bournemouth play there, keeping the ball under pressure. This is what you want to see from the young development squad. It's given away though. Mingy in towards Piggott, but Torre is back there doing his defensive duties. Winterburn, and there's an injury now, so we're going to have a little break in play. But this is good experience again. Under pressure from experienced players, trying to keep the ball, not panicking, not giving it away, learning to deal with this situation.
Definitely, and I think the game has been managed pretty well from our boys generally. Yeah, we've given the ball away a little bit cheaper than we would have liked there. However, we've kind of dominated the game. The game feels as though it's fizzled out a little bit, which is understandable. There'll be a little bit of tired legs coming on now. You know, being in this stadium creates its own little tension for the players, so that'll make them a little bit more tired. They'll be using a lot of nervous energy before the game, so it's understandable that there will be a lull.
Let's take a look at the 5th Bournemouth goal. This was the ball forward to Daniel Aduajayi, who does really well.
Yeah, really well, and really composed finish with his left foot this time. So it's been a really good night for him. A really good night all round, really. You know, let's hope we can see the game out. We don't want to concede any more goals, and hopefully we still get a few more chances.
He had great confidence in himself as well, because it would have been so easy for him to go down, because he fouled him, he pulled him back because he knew he'd gone past him, so he could easily have gone down there.
And he'll be searching for a third goal and a hat-trick goal. Who gets the ball? David Brooks or Daniel Aduajayi?
I'm sure on this occasion that Daniel will let David have it.
Actually, that's a really good question. What does happen?
That's the first time I've had a good question in all my career.
I've seen it before. Normally, Neil, I'll tell you, it's normally the person who scores the first hat-trick.
Oh.
There you go. Ball play forward there, but the goalkeeper is out to it, and Bournemouth will have a throw-in on this near side.
Talking of hat-tricks, just tell us about James Tater. What's he up to these days?
James is one of our academy coaches on a part-time basis. So James assists me sometimes on a Tuesday or Thursday evening when he comes in. On top of that, he's actually learned his trade to be an electrician. So he's doing really well, James. He's a really, really good friend of mine. Somebody I love playing football with. What an amazing player to play with. Talk about somebody with versatility. James Hayter was it.
Absolutely. 2 minutes, 22 seconds, that hat-trick on a cold Tuesday night against Wrexham. Had his first child the weekend before, was on the bench because he missed the game on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And his mum and dad had already gone home because they had to get the ferry.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember it well.
Is he in your Sunday night team?
He's made one appearance, Neil, and unfortunately he got injured on that one appearance, so he actually turned around and said, "You won't be inviting me ever again, please." So we've actually stopped. So what happened, Neil? We've actually won 2 leagues in a row, so we're going to give up this next batch of games and let somebody else have a chance.
Da Costa Gonzalez over on the far side, who just patiently waits for the defender to make his move. He's got support though from the fullback in towards Brown. That's a brilliant ball, but the goalkeeper spots the danger. What an incredible reverse ball into the box there towards Lewis Brown. That was top class from Ollie Morgan.
Great disguise, reverse pass with his right foot. So there you go, there's the benefit again. It's a great forward run as well from Lewis. Just unfortunately just couldn't get that shot away. Brilliant pass. Great run, great pass.
Lewis Brown did so well there. What a ball from Morgan. And it's Genesini who will take the Bournemouth corner in front of an empty North stand. The Portsmouth fans have been silenced, and it's not very often you say that, by the 5 Cherries goals. And the ball's whipped in there. There's options there, but once again the goalkeeper does really well to palm it away. But Bournemouth have still got bodies there, and Da Costa Gonzalez is marshalled away from the goal, but he's got Toure in support. Greenwood in possession. It's a great ball in towards Brown there. Nice little flick. Daniel Aduajayi, Winterburn there, and it's a brilliant, audacious chip that goes just over the bar, but it won't count because this is an offside move from the Cherries. Linesman's got his flag up on the near side. Nice little 1-2 there. And that's exactly what you'd want to see in these situations. Tight spaces, quick football, intelligent football, and another opportunity at goal.
Yeah, Alan's going to be absolutely buzzing. I mean, if he wasn't buzzing about the first half, he's certainly going to be as pleased with what he's seen in different aspects of the second half, Warren.
Definitely, Neil. I'll be really happy, first and foremost, that we've not conceded any more goals since the first half, so that's great. And secondly, we have controlled the game, and we've looked like the better team by quite a distance.
Kinsey Wellings does really well to find Brooklyn. Genesini, who's just come into the middle of the park there. Options forward as Bournemouth surge down that left-hand side once again. Lewis Brown, nice little pass there in towards Genesini, who's got Tariq Guidry for company. He makes the overlapping run, but Bournemouth now just looking to see out the game. We've got just over 7.5 minutes to go with a little bit of injury time. But the Cherries giving the ball away, but doing everything they need to do to just keep the ball, keep possession, keep doing what they're trying to do. See if they can fashion another opportunity. Can they make it 6? Crossfield ball searching towards the run of Brown, who will chase into that bottom corner, but it's mopped up by Portsmouth.
Just tickled here. Number 44's come on for Portsmouth, and he wasn't even on the team sheet. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there.
The fountain of all knowledge, Neil Perrott, has been silenced.
I think his name in the back of the shirt's Fox, Neil, so it's 14, not 40. It's down as the team sheet, it's 14.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, it was definitely 14 on the team sheet, I remember it.
Given away by Portsmouth. Genesini. Torrey Williams. Back to Kinsey Wellings. Winterburn. Williams. A nice smart turn from Aduajay, who fires it out to that left-hand side for Da Costa Gonzalez. Back towards Winterburn. Da Costa Gonzalez and Bournemouth have a throw on the far side.
It's been quite quiet for Michael really since he's come on. You know, he's normally energetic, wants to make things happen, but he's had quite a quiet spell for the first 35 minutes of the second half.
Just quickly run you through the other quarter-finals. It's Bashley against Eastleigh, which I believe is tonight. AFC Porchester against Basingstoke. And the other one is Aldershot Town against Baffin's Milton Rovers.
Okay. Of course you know that. Of course you do.
Neil Perrott's non-league knowledge is beyond exceptional.
Not just non-league, he's not a one-trick pony, Mark.
His football knowledge, exceptional.
Knowledge, yeah. Exceptional.
Portsmouth with the ball through Mingy. Moto on the right-hand side has got an overlapping run. There's bodies in the box as well. He's looking for Piggott. Piggott's up there, but Billy Terrell does really well to sniff out the danger and come and claim the ball first time. And he's looking to fashion another attack. It's towards Daniel Aduajay, who we know's got strength and power and has caused problems for Portsmouth all night. He comes back in field. He's got options on his left and his right, but he just takes the tempo out of the game. But Bournemouth still have the ball. Williams plays forward to Brown. Da Costa Gonzalez on the far side. An overlapping run. Brown still in there as well. And Williams will try and play forward as he does so often. But unfortunately, Aduajay hasn't seen the little bit of space that Williams was looking for. And Bournemouth give the ball away.
I was just about to say, I don't think Torrey Williams has given the ball away once tonight, and then he did.
A commentator's curse from Neil Perrott. You can hear the Portsmouth fans in the background. And you can also hear in the background from Michael Botto on the tannoy, today's man of the match, no surprise, the hat-trick hero from the first half, David Brooks. We've got another substitute here for the Cherries, and it's going to be Remy Rees-Dottin coming onto the field for Lewis Brown, who is slowly making his way over to the dugouts now. What can we expect to see from Remy, Neil?
Remy's a lively front man. Played on the right-hand side on Saturday morning when I watched him. Could have been playing at Stevenage this morning for the under 18s, but Alan's got him on the bench tonight. Looks a good prospect.
Yeah, he's a good kid, Remy. Along with Ollie Morgan, he was one of the first boys that I coached when I rejoined the club in the academy. He's a good wide player. He's a handful in 1v1 situations.
Dockerell plays forward for Portsmouth towards Piggott, who holds the ball up well. Checks back. It's a good little ball there towards Moto, but it's cut out by the Cherries. And Rees-Dottin will have his first taste of action here at the Vitality Stadium, and he's showing already that liveliness and pace down the left-hand side, and he's won Bournemouth a free kick.
That'll do his confidence well. First touch of the ball, and he's positive. He takes on his man, and he gets by him, and they need to force a free kick.
Bournemouth currently in the Premier League. Portsmouth had 9 seasons in the top flight before they were relegated, eventually down to League 2. They've still got an outside chance of the playoffs in League 1. John Massinio has been watching the side and taking the team today for Pompey. Alan Connell in the dugout for the Cherries, and it's Da Costa Gonzalez.
I think they played together as well, is that right?
Alan and John played at Brentford. I think it was about 2008, something like that. So they know each other well.
I think for our players, well, the young players, they're in front of a League One manager. Now, if you're looking to take a couple of players on loan, then you know a couple of our boys have done really, really well in front of him tonight.
Absolutely, and Richard Hughes as well, the director of football at Pompey, is also here at the game. Ball in towards Daniel Aduajayi, but it's cut out. Winterburn's there. Aduajayi won't give this one up. He's still on for a hat-trick. As the clock ticks down, he's charging towards the goalkeeper, putting him under pressure, but he does well. But it's Rhys Dotton who can't keep the ball in play. Yeah, as we were saying, Richard Hughes, the Portsmouth director of football, is in the stands here tonight as well, so he'll be casting his eye over not only on the Portsmouth players, but maybe one or two of those Cherries youngsters that he might fancy taking into League One on loan next season. And of course Gary O'Neill also in the stands watching tonight's Bournemouth team. Genesini down the right hand side, ball in towards Da Costa Gonzalez, who's on the edge of the area. It's a little challenge there, but he does well to keep the ball. He's brought down, and this is an opportunity for the Cherries to potentially get their 6th goal. Who will take this one, Neil?
Ben Greenwood, striding forward.
As soon as the free kick was given, you pointed towards Greenwood.
Genesini, maybe? He looks like he wants
it.
He's got the old dipper.
Is he going to pull rank?
There's 4 Bournemouth players stood over the ball.
I think Ben deserves it for his performance to actually take this tonight as captain. And it looks like it'll be him, yeah.
Genesini picked up the ball and had it under his arm.
And I'm going to back him and say he scores.
Ben Greenwood. Looks like he's going to take the free kick for the Cherries. Small run up. Good firing pass. Oh, and past the goalkeeper. He does really well. It's a great save to his right hand side. Past the wall there. We've got just 2 minutes of added time in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. You can see from the replay, the goalkeeper favours his right-hand side. That's where the ball went, and it's a good, firm palm away from goal. But Bournemouth have the ball in the far corner, and Daniel Aduajayi has got less than 2 minutes to try and get a Cherries hat-trick in the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. Jay Mingy will just check back there, and he wins a free kick for Portsmouth. But I think it's safe to say, Neil, Bournemouth are in the semi-finals.
I think maybe got 2 feet in the semi-finals now, Mark. I've got to say about that save, there haven't been very many saves tonight. That's the Portsmouth goalkeeper's made a couple, one with his legs. Billy Terrell, I don't remember too many. Yeah.
With his legs.
So, AFC Portchester in the semi-finals, do you reckon?
Brett Pittman at the Vitality Stadium.
That would be... that'd be a brilliant story. I hope I get invited back to do this if he is, because I would love to see him getting passed around by our boys. I'd love nothing better than to watch that for 90 minutes.
Bournemouth legend, of course, Brett Pittman. That's providing Portchester have got through the quarter-final.
Well, the irony is, if that did happen, Brett coaches some of these boys, so that would be a funny experience.
By the way, you did him out of 4 goals earlier. I think he's got 48 now.
He's got 48. Is that a real league when you score 48 goals by this time of the season?
Well, Erling Haaland has done it in the Premier League, so...
Oh, yeah, fair enough, fair point. No, hey, fair play to Brett. Look, it won't matter what league you put Brett Pittman in. You give him a chance, you know where the ball's going.
There's the full-time whistle at the Vitality Stadium, and AFC Bournemouth are into the semi-finals of the Hampshire Senior Cup, thanks to an incredible first-half display from David Brooks, goals from Daniel Aduajayi as well, and that was what you call a brilliant, outstanding, incredible. I'm running out of superlatives for this young Alan Connell side, who have been absolutely outstanding today. You're watching AFCB TV, and we will take a look now at those goals as they went in, all 5 of them for the Cherries. The players just thanking the referee there at the moment, and you can see a brilliant performance. That was absolutely superb. I've been in the company of Neil Perrott and Warren Cummings, who made 302 appearances for the Cherries, and that was a brilliant performance, wasn't it?
It really was. I think before the game, when you looked at the team sheet, I think everyone in the stadium were holding their breath a little bit, going, whoa, this could be a really tough night, myself included. So I've got to say, the football club's got to be absolutely delighted about how our boys conduct themselves. And of course, and rightly so, the big story of the evening really should be David Brooks in that performance and scoring 3 goals.
That was the first goal, Neil, there for David Brooks.
I think, as Warren touched on there, 2-0 down after about 18 minutes. You did worry then, 7 first-team players in the Portsmouth lineup, 6 under-18s in the Bournemouth lineup. You did worry, but what incredible character. Yes, I know we had David Brooks in the team, and most of it was down to him. But exceptionally well taken goal from Daniel Ajuajay, one in the first half, one in the second half. And it's a thoroughly deserved win, and Warren touched on it in commentary. We controlled the game after the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that was an assist for David Brooks there, who feeds the ball infield towards Daniel Ajuajay, and a brilliant finish for him there to make it 2-2. The third Bournemouth goal, another piece of special brilliance from David Brooks. A little bit of a deflection towards goal, but it was the space he had out on that right hand side. Comes infield, he shoots, he knows what he's trying to do with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he was dangerous for 45 minutes, David Brooks, and his quality just oozed out on that pitch, and it was brilliant to see. He's still got a bit of way to go to get back to where he was, we know that, but it's just a great story.
And this is the hat-trick goal, and the best goal of the lot, the final goal for David Brooks. The goalkeeper goes one way, he slots it into that bottom corner. Brilliant strike.
It was almost like a penalty, wasn't it? But he was a lot further out, and the goalkeeper definitely thought he was going to turn it onto his left foot, as he had done with the others. And you just don't see that very often.
That was it, 4-2 at half-time, and this is the last Bournemouth goal. Daniel Ajuajay.
Yeah, ball in behind, he's strong, he's powerful, he puts people under pressure. Clark Robertson won't be happy if he watched that goal back. Not the best defending he's probably ever done in his life. But Daniel's clinical, he's in front of goal and he's cool. Scored a great goal there.
From a development perspective as well, what a goal to see a 17-year-old second-year scholar holding off and beating an vastly experienced 29-year-old defender.
And this is what it means to the Bournemouth team. Speaking to their friends and family there on the side of the pitch at the Vitality Stadium, that's what this is all about. It's that moment there where they can celebrate and enjoy it.
Of course they can. They're playing in front of their friends and family, you said, in an environment that is new to many of them. So they deserve their night. They've got to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? This is a lovely place to play football. I know that more than anyone. And hopefully they get a lot more nights like this.
And Alan Connell will be immensely proud of that performance, particularly from 2-0 down.
Of course he will. As I said, we feared after 18 minutes how the night might end up looking, but the resilience and the character and mental strength showed that these boys have got a bit about them.
And this is what's key about these games. It's the opportunity to put themselves against quality opposition, experienced opposition, and this is what the process is about.
Well, it's like Warren said, and you touched on it, the fact that the Portsmouth recruitment man is looking on, and if he's thinking about some players there, loan players, it's before his very eyes. And this has happened before. A lot of these games, loan clubs are watching these players in the games like this and taking them on and giving them valuable experience, which is just perfect for the club.
And that's great for Alan Connell as well. This is all part of the process. It's developing, it's coaching, it's bringing players through the system, bringing players through the academy. We've seen with a couple of players in the first team now that, if you go out and buy Jayden Anthony, it costs you a fair few £1,000,000. He's come through this system, he's come through games like this.
It is, it's really important. Our job as coaches is, we're not trying to win games of football. Yeah, winning is part of development in football, of course it is, it has to be. You need to teach players to win football matches, but we're here to create individuals who are here for the game. Hopefully they're here for AFC Bournemouth, first and foremost for our first team, but if they're not, we're here to create players that can go and have a career for themselves.
And you've certainly seen a few players out there tonight, Neil, that look like they could have a career in the Football League and very possibly for Bournemouth.
Well, exactly. We said we'd go back 2 years, and Jayden Anthony, Mark Travers, people like that playing in the Hampshire Senior Cup, now playing in the Premier League. So are we going to be hopefully a couple of players here 2 years' time in the Premier League? Hope so.
Absolutely. And just a final thought on David Brooks. That's what tonight was all about. Essentially, it was of course the quarter-final, but for him to go to Villa Park, get a few minutes on the pitch, but this was a bigger step perhaps in his progress and the comeback trail. He started the game, played 45 minutes. Not only did he play 45 minutes, he scored 3 goals, got an assist, and showed to everyone, with every single touch virtually, he's still got so much quality.
If you were writing a script, you never would have said that he would get a hat-trick, get an assist, get the man of the match. Everything's fallen into place. He's deserved it, he's earned it, and it's great to see for everybody, particularly for him and his nearest and dearest who have been through everything with him as well. So you can't give him enough plaudits.
Absolutely, it will make international news. Sky Sports News have already been in touch with the football club because they want the goals, they want the pictures, they want to see exactly what David Brooks has done today, because there'll be so many people around the world that want to see what he's doing and just pay close attention to the comeback and to what he's doing, because it's truly remarkable.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, as I said earlier, there's nothing more important than your health, and first and foremost for David, he's got his health back, and that's the most important thing. You know, for him to come back with us and play was going to be a bonus. It's more than a bonus now. David Brooks is on a recovery route now, and he's shown us tonight that what he's all about.
Semi-final, any thoughts?
Well, it's another competitive game. We normally surrender home advantage in these games, but we didn't tonight because we wanted to give David Brooks some game time. But yeah, I mean, Bashley, Eastleigh, the names just roll off the tongue, don't they, Mark?
They do when you have your knowledge of non-league football. Thank you very much indeed to both Neil Perrett and Warren Cummings for joining us in the AFCB TV gantry for the quarter-final of the Hampshire Senior Cup. AFC Bournemouth have won 5-2. David Brooks scored a hat-trick in the first half, and the Cherries are into the semi-final of this competition. Make sure you join us on AFCB TV for the semi-final. A big thank you to ESAC, our sponsors tonight, and of course a big thank you to all of you for watching at home. We are absolutely grateful of your company. There is a relegation battle in the Premier League as well, and you can see all of the action across the social media platforms for the football club. A big thank you once again to Neil and Warren. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon on AFCB TV.